Senate Bill 193 by Archer of the House and Garvin of the Senate, an act relating to state employees.
Representative Archer, you're recognized to explain your bill.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Members, Senate Bill 193 will provide 6 weeks maternity leave to state employees. Yield for questions, move adoption.
The member does yield to questions. Representative Lowe Dick, you're recognized for a question on the bill.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Representative, does this bill offer 6 weeks paid leave for both the mother and the father?
Thank you for the question. No, sir, it does specify maternity leave in the bill.
You're recognized for a follow-up.
But it says state employees birth of a state employee. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. It also does say maternity leave. It does not say paternity leave, which would deal with fathers, or paid family medical leave, which would be gender neutral.
I'll give you one more question, ask you to get back in the queue.
Does this bill offer 6 weeks for adoption regardless of the age of the adoption? So if you adopted a 17-year-old, you would still get 6 weeks leave?
Thank you for the question. Yes, sir, this does account for live birth or adoption.
Is there any other incentives or benefits you're offering the rest of the state employees that can't take advantage of this?
I'm sorry, I don't believe I understand. Could you rephrase that?
You're recognized to rephrase the question. And members, I want to remind you the title is off this bill.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Is there an incentive or a benefit that will be offered to the rest of the state employees that can't take advantage of this maternity leave because you've offered a benefit only to a protected class?
Thank you for the question. No, sir, there is no matching incentives for all other employees.
You're recognized.
Thank you. Would you believe that I have been contacted by several of my constituents that say that less than 10% of the companies in Oklahoma offer this kind of benefit, and they think their taxpayer funds being used for this is kind of an unfair benefit that they don't get to take advantage of?
Thank you for the question. I would express the same concern that this is a workforce issue. And as the largest employer in the state, we know that through the legislative body request to OMES, we are 16% below national pay rates. And so I would agree that this is a workforce issue. And as an employer of 18,500 women in the state, it's something we should do.
Representative, isn't it largely true that state employees make quite a bit less than they make doing the same job in the private sector?
Thank you for the question. Yes, sir. OMES states that at 16.39%.
You're recognized for a follow-up.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Would it be then fair to say that since we do pay so much less than the private sector, doing things like this are critical for us to be able to serve the citizens of the state well, given the fact they can go anywhere else and make a lot more money?
Thank you again for the question. And yes, sir, we do know that the cost of this is projected to be approximately $3 million from OMES. We also know that we have a 14.27% voluntary turnover rate. So statistically, if 50% of those are women, which is our workforce, that means 2,140 women voluntarily leave the state each year. So given those numbers, given that cost of replacing those individuals is 1.21. We know that if we keep 45 women employed, this pays for itself.
While I had the conversation with you about which this was 1 year as opposed to 2, appreciate you running this, but would you agree this is a real opportunity for Oklahoma to be a top 10 in something?
Thank you for the question. Yes, I believe this would make Oklahoma a very pro-life and pro-family state.
For more information, you can visit tulsaworld.com.